All right, today we're going to cut right through all the noise on the charts and focus on one single powerful candlestick pattern. It's called the Swing Low Engulfing Pattern. And trust me, we're going to break down exactly why it's such a high probability signal. You know the feeling, right? You're staring at a chart and it's just a sea of candles, dozens of little signals flashing at you. How in the world do you spot the ones that actually mean something? The ones that signal a real change in direction you can actually have some confidence in? Well, let's be real. Not all chart patterns are created equal. Not by long shot. A lot of them look promising, but they just fizzle out. And that's exactly why today we're zeroing in on a very specific variation of the classic engulfing pattern, one that packs a much bigger punch. To really get what makes this pattern tick, we've got to decode the name itself. It's made up of a couple of key parts, so let's just break them down one by one. Okay, first up, the pullback. Super simple concept. Imagine a stock is in a nice, solid uptrend. A pullback is just that temporary dip, that little pause in its upward climb. You can think of it as the market just taking a quick breath before it decides to hopefully keep going up. And next, we have the engulfing candle. This is a classic two-candle pattern. You've got a relatively small candle first, and then bam! The second one is much bigger, and its body totally swallows or engulfs the body of the one right before it. It's a really clear visual, like a sudden and powerful shift in who's in control. Okay, so we've got our two main ingredients, the pullback and the engulfing candle. Now for the fun part. Let's start putting these pieces together and see how they create this really potent setup. So, the process starts simply enough, right? First, you need that established uptrend. Then, you spot that temporary dip we just talked about. That's your pullback. Now, during that pullback, you're on the lookout for a bullish engulfing candle. But, and this is the most important part, it's not just that it forms. It's all about where it forms. And that brings us to the absolute key to its power. The thing that separates this pattern from just any old engulfing candle is its precise location. Location, location, location. This is where it all comes together. Now listen to this, because this is the secret sauce. The pattern is most powerful when the engulfing candle itself is the lowest point, swing low, of the current pullback. That little detail right there, that's the whole game. So what exactly is a swing low? Well, it's just what it sounds like. It's the absolute bottom, the rock bottom price point the chart hits during that pullback before it finally pivots and starts to head back up. And here's where the light bulb really goes on. See, a standard run-of-the-mill engulfing candle can pop up anywhere during a pullback. You might even see a few of them. But the swing low engulfing pattern, it shows up only at the absolute bottom. It is the turning point. So why does that matter so much? Because when that big engulfing candle forms at the absolute low, it's telling you a story. It's saying the sellers gave it one last big push down and they failed. They got completely run over by a wave of buyers. It's not just a minor reversal. It's a sign of total seller exhaustion and a powerful, decisive takeover by the buyers right at that moment of peak fear. Okay, let's boil this all down into a simple, can't-miss checklist. This is what you need to look for, at a glance, to spot this thing in the wild. Here it is, 4 simple checks. Number 1, got an established uptrend? Check. 2, is there a clear pullback happening? Check. 3, do you see that bullish engulfing candle? Check. And finally, the most important question of all, number 4, is that engulfing candle the absolute lowest point of the pullback? If you can check all 4 of those boxes, you've found your signal. So really, the big takeaway here is that context is king. It's not just about the shape of the pattern, it's about where it shows up that gives it its real power. Now that you can spot this signal, you'll never look at a simple pullback the same way again. So the next time you see one, what are you going to be looking for? At the very bottom.